I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome to We Need Help. I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and today we need to be stuck up.
Isn't this a great subject?
I love it so much when you're like, we need to be stuck up. I'm like, yeah, we do.
Well, it's funny because this subject is a weird one. And to start out, I wanted to say that it doesn't mean that we need to make people feel bad, but I'm not even going to say that necessarily because we need to not manage what other people are feeling about us necessarily.
We can't make people feel bad. Like if they feel bad, that's on them.
Yeah, I mean, you like, so I was at a family occasion and I felt terrible when I left there. I couldn't figure out why. Um,
What
but
was it? Like a birthday christening?
it was Easter.
Oh,
And I just felt like I have to, like we were talking, Jason and I were talking about it. He's like, what is it? What's the deal? I was like, I just feel like I have to make myself smaller around my family.
yeah.
And I can't be the only one that does this,
I do it.
right?
I do it like my mom, I do it around my mom because my mom's like she thinks I'm extravagant when I want to fly business,
Okay.
for example, or, like she doesn't like the extravagance, right? So I do that.
Right.
Yeah. Like, oh, I do it around people actually, you know? Yeah.
And so, I kind of hate myself for doing it.
Yeah.
I always feel inauthentic. I feel
Mm.
like I'm not showing up, and I certainly feel like I'm not being seen. I feel like isolated in a group of people. And so I went ahead and I had an energy session, healing session with Candace Tranter, whom I absolutely love. We talk about her a lot on here. She has really helped me with a lot of the hangups that I've had that have kind of stopped my growth over
Mm.
the years. I mean, I've been working with her for 2 years, and what she does is incredible, and how she's pivoted my life working with her, and the work we've done together has just blown my mind.
So
And
you went to her with this particular issue, like you felt uncomfortable at this family party. So did you already know kind of why, or did you go to her like, I'm not sure what's happening, help me discover it, and then let's solve it? Like, what was the process?
we were talking, like when you start your session with her, you're just talking and this, that, and the other thing. I had no idea I was going to bring it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she asked me about my family, blah, blah, blah. And I just said, I was at Easter and I just feel so bad after a family occasion sometimes. And, we got to talking about it. And an incredible thing happened. She, asked me, like, how do you feel when you're there? And then she took me back in my mind's eye to like the first time I can remember feeling
Mm.
like I had to be less around my family.
When was it? Can you share? I'm totally
Yep. Well, I mean, it happened a lot. I mean, I could bring it up over and over and over, but I remember specifically my cousins, constantly calling me stuck up.
mm.
And I remember, my stepmother, I had a stepmother briefly. My dad never kept him
Sweet.
long. That she called Katie and I the stuck up because she had children, she implied that we were stuck up.
What was their reason for calling you stuck up?
You
What
know, I
why do you think they did that?
I think that looking back, my way of raging against the machine that I didn't like was to say I was too good for it, or to imply that I was too good for it, or act stuck up in, certain situations that I couldn't handle as a child. So I would go, I would become small, I would not participate, I would act like it was beneath me
Mm,
in, in these situations that, you know, were beneath me.
mm, okay.
So, that's the fact of the matter. And, I had a stepsister that always called me stuck up. She was in you know, a survival mode of her own, going back. And like she brought me back to when I was like 8 or 9 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, in certain situations where I either had to make myself like what I wanted unknown, hide
Mm,
it, or I had to make myself smaller to be around people.
mm,
And she basically got me to the point through, a lot of work, and questioning and asking me, like, she got me to the point where she said, you know, being stuck up really helped you cope in situations that were acceptable to you.
mm.
So, long story short, we got to the point where she said, I think it's a good thing for you to be stuck up.
Love that.
And to quote myself is, I'd rather be stuck up than stuck down.
Yeah.
Because had I not had any stretch goals or any, barriers that I wanted to achieve or go past,
Mm,
I would still be stuck down in poverty or in a toxic situation, or, to not want more. I always wanted to look my best. I always wanted to, like, I wanted to have material things. I wanted to have money. I wanted to have freedom. I wanted to have really nice things. And that drove me to a healthier lifestyle. But it got me thinking about these narratives that we pick up in childhood or in, certain situations where we can be kind of labeled a certain bad sounding thing, and they actually worked for us.
yeah.
Stuck up is my main one. I was also called stupid.
Okay.
I was called not smart.
I was called
Co-
stubborn, headstrong. Yeah.
yeah, like, is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Was there a time
Know
in
it
your
all.
life?
I was called a know-it-all a lot because I was always the one in class raising my, hand first. What's wrong with that?
When you know it all, then you know it all. I mean, it's just
Don't
it's
make
not.
smarter.
I remember, I was lazy because I didn't want to do my schoolwork. I kind of raged against it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't see the point.
Yeah.
I really never understood why we were doing these bullshit things at school.
Yeah.
They didn't make any sense, and they had they were for nothing. They didn't achieve anything. So it's like, we got to the point where she said, I really think you should embrace this stuck up thing. And it got me thinking about my family a little bit.
Mm.
Now, this group of people that I was with, like my sister, Chuck Norris, whom I love more than life itself, Molly, many of the other people that
Molly, your
were,
niece. Yeah.
Molly's my niece, and they have never once asked me to be smaller.
Mm.
My sister has done nothing but support my dreams and achievements. She's
Mm,
very proud of me. So this is just a narrative that I've told myself that I'm stuck up in a negative way, and I've put it onto them because for years and years and years I was kind of shamed and treated poorly for wanting more. I mean, let's be honest.
mm,
That's what it was. I just wanted to be better.
mm.
It now, it had nothing to do with the people who were calling me stuck up. They were having their own experience, and maybe my experience made them feel worse about
Yeah, they were
themselves.
feeling rejected or like the fact that they're enjoying this and you're not, that, they felt worse. So they had to make you feel worse. So they felt better. That whole
It
check.
has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
And frankly, I that stepsister has always, like in our adulthood when she was not in survival mode, always loved me and supported me. This is just a core narrative that I have let, be negative when it's actually a positive thing.
How would you define it? If you were to say, to define your definition of being stuck up, how would you define it?
It would always striving for more and to be better and to be better than I was before, and look and having my own dreams rather than the people around me.
Yeah. And for me, like we talked about having this maybe as an episode, like not settling for something. And I've been accused of being stuck up when, like, purchasing something and I'm like, that is not going in my house, right? And oh, you're so stuck up. Like, sorry, that's not going in my house, and that's that striving for better. So it's very tied to not settling.
Well, and something that I've always done is I will wait to get what I want rather than take something that's good enough. I've just never done it. It's kind of like it's one of my staples about myself that I've loved is like I'll just wait till I can have what I want. I don't want something that's good enough.
Yeah.
It's kind of driven me to be totally happy with what I have, eventually gotten and
Mm.
not settling in a way, you know, and it's, when we talk about being stuck up, it really is can be it's a two-headed dragon in the way that it really is a tool that you can use to be better, or it's a tool you can use to make people feel worse, and I don't think that that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I think when you hear stuck up, I automatically think of people that think they're better than other people, right? But that's not what we're talking about.
It has nothing to do with anybody else. It's
Yeah,
literally me wanting to achieve more than I have
yeah,
today.
yeah.
Or, and I want to be clear, my mom never called me stuck up, but my dad did.
Oh.
My
Why?
dad was
Why did he
like,
call you stuck up?
I think he likes it. He liked it, he liked it. It was almost like a compliment, but I,
Mm,
of course, heard nothing of the sort,
you just heard the
you
criticism.
know. Yeah, like, he wanted me to achieve more. They both did. And, you know, when we are locked into these narratives, a lot of people, if somebody calls you overweight as a child, you're more likely to be overweight as an adult because you already have that story in your head. That's your story.
Mm.
You're more likely if you're a know-it-all, like you're afraid to tell people what you know because you've been criticized for that.
Mm.
Like it's just something that like, and then it's always in your head. Oh my God, I'm a know-it-all. I shouldn't raise my hand. I shouldn't,
Mm.
what if we just embraced those things if we like them or see the good in them
Yeah.
and kind of shed what the story is because the truth of the matter is my family wants me to be good. They want me to be bigger. They want me to have dreams and achievements and successes. All of them, as far as I know. And if anybody isn't like that, they haven't made it clear. If I make somebody feel bad for being me, is that really about me anyway?
Mm.
So I was just intuitively telling myself I wanted more and felt like I'm always feeling bad about that. So we went through, we really worked through it. She did some energy work on me. And, you know, she said, just own it. Own being stuck up.
Love it.
Just like seriously, no downplaying of yourself.
Yeah, I love it. Have standards. Don't settle. Like, reach for more. Like, it's all good stuff.
It's all wonderful. And when you're in poverty, I mean, I never thought I belonged there. I
Mm.
never thought I belonged there. And it wasn't I didn't think anyone else did either. I just thought it was for the birds. I didn't want it,
Yeah,
you know? So I'd rather be stuck up than stuck down.
I
And I
love it.
think that if we embrace those shitty things that people have told us about ourselves and realize them for what they are, we might just be able to, walk a little bit stronger in our truth.
Mm.
What if you were a know-it-all? What if you knew everything?
It's good. People come to me. It's wonderful.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
and the things that like our family is there to mirror things for us. I think we choose them. I think we
Yeah.
lock arms with them very before we even come to Earth. I truly believe that. Like I really do. And what if we're playing this stuff out with them?
Yeah.
You know? So I'm stuck up.
I'm stuck up. I don't care.
I'm stuck
Great.
up. I'd rather be stuck up than stuck
Stuck
down. I'm going
down.
to say it for the rest of my life.
I love it.
Well, here's to not settling.
Here's to not settling. Here's to being stuck up.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you next Tuesday with my
Tuesday.
stuck up ass.
Fucking stuck up.
Fucking stuck up. Thank you so much for joining us this week on We Need Help, the podcast.
Make sure to like, subscribe, like again our YouTube channel, our Instagram, follow us wherever you can. It really, really helps us out and ensures that you won't miss any future episodes. So, yep, thanks to you, we can keep going.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.